before coming here, Ezra, I ran into Mike Bloomberg, and I said, I'm going to BShvat at the Freidlanders. And he said to me, say hello to the Freidlanders, what's BShvat? So, the flowers of tomorrow come from the seeds we plant today. Right? Come from the seeds and to extend it, I would say, and the flowers of today come from the seeds we planted yesterday. So Ezra said to me, and we have here the finance chair of the city council, he said, make sure you mention, it's historic, because I think the first Latina finance chair, right? And when he mentioned finance chair, I said, I have to be there, because I always get nervous when anybody tells me someone from the finance is going to be anywhere. It's like getting a call from Preet Bharara. But he raved about you. But the fact is, we have people, minority groups being elected public officials. That wouldn't have happened unless people yesterday made sure that there would be flowers today. And I think back of, Jews and non-Jews sitting together. It was only because of people like Martin Luther King, Abraham Joshua Heschel, people who planted those seeds yesterday, that we sit here today. It's our responsibility to BShvat. What do we have to do? We got to plant seeds as well, so that future generation will say, we're here because of them. We're able to write a new chapter because of what they did during their chapter.
The rabbi spoke very well about the seeds and how we are the future and what we're doing and the vision that we're creating. But I also think it's important, and that's why it's important that we establish these relationships and that I get to know more every day, because I think, when we stop learning, then we might as well just leave. We have to continue to learn. But also it's about what are the roots that we're establishing. So as we celebrate the trees, not only the fruit that they give, but how strong are our roots. And I think that speaks immensely, and we can see it throughout the Jewish community about establishing strong roots so that when the tough times come, we're grounded. And also when we're planting these seeds, that it's in fertile soil and that it's not just growing, and then that we're investing in communities that make sense and communities that are going to be here for a long time. So you sit here and you represent hundreds of thousands of residents of New York City, and I'm just moved, and I love this opportunity. And as we celebrate this fruitful occasion, also knowing that you have a partner in the city council, and the opportunity that I have to sit here and break not bread but fruit with you, I cherish very much so, and know that our communities are working together. Your voice is important in the city council, and I carry this message that you have with me every day. Although we work together, it's not often that she and I can sit, and we're actually wearing the same dress, I think. It's not a uniform for government. But that I'm able to sit here with my sister, and that you helped get her elected citywide, and to have her partnership in government. You did that. Here, from Brooklyn and every corner that you could possibly mobilize your voters. Everyone in this room helped do that. And I am forever grateful that you had the vision to elect not only an amazing, smart, and beautiful woman, but that you've given me the opportunity to do that as finance chair. I'm forever grateful, so thank you.
And I think the issue that Ezra speaks to really speaks to the issue that I care about, and it's consistent with this holiday that you celebrate. It's really about focusing on children. All of my career I have focused on children because I think it's really critically important that we sow the seeds so that we can harvest their great work at a future date. We really need to improve the world around us. We need to ensure and understand that we are only here temporarily, and we have an obligation and a duty to care for this earth and to maintain it and to sustain it and to build it. And to raise children and to provide for children who are innocent and vulnerable, and to provide for their needs. If I can do that in my position as public advocate, then I basically have honored my commitment to the public in the city of New York. That's why I wake up each and every day to try to improve what God has given to all of us, and try to improve this world for all children, for my nieces and nephew, for all of the children in the city of New York, to provide them with childcare and with daycare and make sure that they are safe. And so I thank you as we taste the sweetness of God's world and God's earth, and as we recognize the sweetness of society and the sweetness of life on earth. I think all of us have an obligation to continue to be responsive, to continue to make sure that we improve this world each and every day, and that's what I do. And no, I don't need entourages, and I don't need a lot of staff. All I need is a committed heart, just like Jalissa, and a commitment to really make a difference in this world. But let me just say this, there's been so much discussion nationally, and they're absolutely right. Obviously, what's happening in Israel and the security of Israel is obviously a concern to all of us. And the Jewish people should never be cast off, and that's why we should always defend Israel's right to exist and their right to defend itself.
All of the suffering we see in the world right now, especially in the Middle East, it is important, I think, to come together as people and to really acknowledge what's going on and to work for further and greater peace. And I am going to Israel in 2 weeks with the speaker and with about a dozen other members. Yes. And I've been before. I was there for 2 weeks about 4 years ago. That was purely just pleasure. And this time it's going to be pleasure, but also, I know, really educational. And I'm going to learn a lot. And I am not of Jewish heritage. I was born in Massachusetts. My mother's 100% Irish. My father is 50% Korean, so I'm Irish Korean, and I was raised Catholic. But
and a Patriots fan.
And a Patriots fan.
Yes.
But I am really proud to be a friend of Israel, to support Israel. As an openly gay person, Israel is the only place in the Middle East that treats people with respect and with dignity, and to support the cause of the Jewish people and everyone that inhabits a special place, I think is tremendously important in the kinship that Israel feels with New York City. Each one of us, regardless if we are of Jewish heritage or not, I think we are called upon to recognize that and to work within our communities to ensure that that partnership continues moving forward. And so anything I can do with all of you to further those goals is incredibly important to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody here knows me. This is the first time Ezra invited me to this celebration. I just learned more and more about the Jewish community. And I was born and raised in Brooklyn. But having the knowledge now I have of the Jewish community, the Hasidic community, it's really, really wonderful. And you've embraced me, the whole community has embraced me tremendously, and I thank you. Like Tish here, my job is to keep everybody safe. And a lot of the things too is to keep it in that you are able to celebrate your religion. Keep everybody safe, but still remember to celebrate your religion, which is all these events that you do is really, I'm impressed, I really am. It's really a great thing that in this borough we can have so many different kinds of people and do so many different kinds of things. And it's my job is to make sure everybody in every race, religion, creed can do that safely. And I think you know where my heart lies. That I protect everybody, and it's just it's a wonderful thing. And I'm really, really happy that you invited me tonight. And I'm really, truly honored, and I'm really amongst friends when I'm here. I don't want to single people out, but Barry, how are you? No. No, seriously, I was just saying we had Hatzola just honored the fire department last Monday, and but it wasn't just Hatzola. It was the Lutheran Hospital, Maimonides, Shalom, Masakum, Herverum, the local community board, everybody was there. And it was just great because we were amongst friends. And in other words, I love the analogy you gave about the roots, because the roots are really strong when the storm comes. And so when the problems do arise, we're really based, our roots are strong with each other. And if there is problems, which there hasn't been, we can deal with any problem. We can survive that storm. I thought that was a tremendous analogy, what you just said about the roots. It really was. So I thank you, and I said I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you. It gives us an opportunity to be with the family and really reflect on how important it is to toil hard in the field so you can see the fruits of your labor and the fruits of your harvest. But it also is important because the harvest that comes forth should be a harvest that we keep on our table. We should share it with those who are going many nights without a meal. The numbers show the countless number of homeless people. As we have Nastia is here with us now, who feeds so many through their soup kitchen. And so this has given us an opportunity to reflect and realize that poverty does not mean you should lack your dignity. And as a city, we must be dignified on how we share our harvest with all in not only the borough but the city, and we should reflect on that.
Rabbi Tarfon compared the Jewish people to a pile of walnuts. Not Eric Adams didn't do that. It was Rabbi Tarfon who did that. If one walnut is removed, each and every nut in the pile is shaken and disturbed. So too, when a single Jew is in distress, every other Jew is shaken.